I-24 in the distance back there is open, but Charlie, the temperature here in Kentucky is supposed to dip below zero tonight. There is still a very active shooting situation going on down on the ground. Now, that was the backpack that the suspect apparently had on him. We can tell you that 2 women were arrested at the home of that gunman about 2 miles from here. The fire started here at the Guns and Leather store in Greenbrier, and you can see that firefighters are still pouring water onto the Guns and Leather store, trying to put out hot spots. The way in which the president landed here this afternoon and the tone of his speech today and the nature of his speech, there were some notable differences. This board from this farm out here, Roby Farm, along Shockoe Road in Logan County, just shot right through the windshield when those winds came through this afternoon. Behind me to the other side, you can see the flurry of activity that's going on. What happened in the courtroom behind me at 4:49 this evening was powerful, it was emotional, and it was raw. There was apparently no question of guilt. This is exactly why officials are telling people to stay home. Roads and parking lots that are still literal sheets of ice. You have to think that a lot of these folks are going to be spending 4, 5, sometimes 6 hours running. One out here, just simply thankful that no one was seriously hurt. We're live in Logan County, Kentucky this evening. Chris Conte, News Channel 5 HD.
The governor of Kentucky declared a state of emergency today. Parts of the Commonwealth got as much as 2 feet of snow, bringing highway traffic to a stop. More on that now from Chris Conte of our CBS Nashville affiliate, WTVF. The line of stranded tractor trailers stretched down the highway for 40 miles. Icy roads caused several accidents that shut down 2 major highways in Kentucky, stranding more than 600 vehicles overnight. Heavy snow added to the misery on I-65, and traffic on I-24 was disrupted from the Illinois state line to the Tennessee border. Governor Steve Beshear has declared a state of emergency and deployed the National Guard to help stranded drivers.
Well, we're going to try to get him straightened out and get him up here where we can get up this ramp here.
Rick Tatum started towing vehicles off I-24 at 4 this morning.
This is probably the 14th one for today.
14th you've pulled out?
Yeah.
Travelers, some stuck for more than 12 hours, used social media to ask for help or air their frustration. Mark Mitchell was stranded on I-65 for 19 hours.
It made for a very long night. Some of the truck drivers have been actively walking up and down the highway, handing out water and food, and it was a very, very cold night.
This tour bus carrying a Christian musical group was headed to Missouri for a performance when they got stuck.
I am almost up to my knees in snow right now.
Jonathan Chu, a violinist in the group, documented their ordeal.
We had a plow come through here just a minute ago, and we're all kind of just waiting for the next steps.
I-24 in the distance back there is open, but Charlie, the temperature here in Kentucky is supposed to dip below zero tonight, meaning that crews will have to be out salting the roads so that they don't ice back over.
Chris Conte, thank you.
Our Chris Conte has been in Chattanooga since the news broke, and Chris, an incredibly chaotic day there.
And Rory, it was just over that ridge there where that gunman opened fire, killing those 4 Marines. Tonight, some details are starting to emerge about the suspect as this city tries to make sense of a tragedy that is beyond words and beyond comprehension.
I don't think I've ever seen this many emergency vehicles in my life.
An unprecedented response to an unprecedented tragedy.
We were just very grateful that God had put us ahead of the situation and that we were where we were.
Becky Birch, her husband and daughter, were running on a Chattanooga trail this morning when they were stopped cold in their tracks.
We realized there's something way bigger than us going on.
What they couldn't know was that 100 yards away, pure chaos and carnage was unfolding.
Today is a nightmare for the city of Chattanooga.
A nightmare that began in the middle of the day, just after 10 o'clock, when a man opened fire in an Army recruitment center. Some witnesses say he unloaded close to 100 rounds. Bullets riddled the strip mall where the victims were ambushed.
2 different locations this individual went to.
The second location was 15 miles away. Speeding in his silver Mustang shown by Sky 5, the suspect opened fire at another naval recruitment center. By the time it was all over, 4 Marines were dead. Heroes killed in cold blood.
This is a sad day for the United States. These service members served their country with pride.
Authorities will not say how the suspect was killed. It's unclear whether he took his own life or was shot by authorities. What is clear, though, is that he has shaken this city to its core.
It is incomprehensible to see what happened and the way that individuals who proudly serve our country were treated.
Marines, yeah. Those are the good guys.
The good guys killed in the most unspeakable of acts.
We just pray for Chattanooga and hope that everybody's okay now.
Because this happened on federal property, the FBI is now in charge of this massive investigation. The names of those 4 Marines killed have not been released until their family members can be contacted. We are live in Chattanooga this evening. Chris Conte, News Channel 5 HD.
Hi, everybody. It's 8:31. And it's the 1-year anniversary of the marathon bombing. We've had.
If Phil Kirkpatrick could turn back time,
there was blood everywhere on that sidewalk on Boylston.
he would unsee the things he saw that day.
Help up from the medical tent. Get as many people up here as you can.
They hit us on the most innocent of events. I mean, a foot race.
He's come a long way. We all have. But to know how he got here is to know where this man has been.
Just happened to be on that little speck on the planet where this hideous part of history rolled out.
You got it! 11 minutes shy of 3 p.m. a year ago today, Phil was poised with his iPhone near the finish line of the Boston Marathon, trying to snap a photo of his girlfriend, Vicky.
This is personal to everybody.
Vicky was a few hundred yards away from the first explosion. Phil wasn't quite as fortunate.
10 feet away is where the 5 people were that I saw down. The lost foot and a lost leg, and blood was everywhere.
He wore his UT Vols shirt that day so that Vicky could spot him in the crowd. She never saw him, but most of the country did.
I couldn't hear anything, and I was dizzy, and that's when some medical types came running up and put me into a wheelchair and wheeled me down across the finish line.
Nearly deaf in both his ears, constant ringing of tinnitus in his right.
And it doesn't ever stop.
Phil didn't need his hearing, though, to see what he needed to do.
Any of us who were injured, who could train and do this, and give it all we got, need to do it. Okay, just need to do it. Today it's going to be the Hot Run playlist.
As one of 260 people injured that day, this music industry attorney was given an invitational entry to run the Boston Marathon next week.
No other year would I have any business being on the course of the Boston Marathon. This year, I have to be there.
60 years old, 2 artificial hips, and 2 ears that barely work. Phil's been out here every other day for the last 4 months.
Boston strong. That's what it's about.
He's never run a marathon before, probably never will again.
And the finish line. Especially the finish line. I hope to see it.
Phil, though, isn't running a 26.2-mile race. He is making a 26.2-mile statement.
But compared to the poor folks who lost lives, lost limbs, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Chris Conte, News Channel 5 HD.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling Spar Gas.
At Spar Gas in Sparta.
This is Sabrina. Okay, are you one of our customers?
You'd expect their specialty to be propane.
Have we ever filled the tank for you before? Anything to do with propane, we do it.
But for the last 3 months, Sabrina Tolbert and her coworkers have been searching for a specialty part that isn't on their shelves.
She's had the problem for a long time, and she's just started feeling worse.
She is owner Mary Ann Catron.
This is a previous picture.
She's been sick now for 3 years.
This is back when she was in good health.
She's not only the boss.
This is our family picture.
She's also Sabrina's mom.
Right now, she's in stage 5 kidney failure. At that time, when they found it, I think she was in stage 3.
Doctors believe Mary Ann has 2% of her kidneys left at best.
That means that her kidneys are shutting down and that if she doesn't get a kidney transplant, she will die. She'll die. So, I mean, we love her. We want her to be here with us. And We need help.
Desperate to find her mom a kidney, Sabrina started thinking outside the box. That's when she realized that the box just needed to be a rectangle.
I thought, well, somebody's advertising. Why can't somebody advertise for help for a kidney?
4 separate billboards set up across Middle Tennessee, all with the same purpose.
We need someone's help. She needs a kidney.
At 73 years old, Marianne isn't exactly on the top of any donor list. So this may be her only chance.
We just need the right person to come along and be her saving grace.
I hope it makes someone, they see them and they go and be checked, not only for her, but everyone else that is in need of a kidney.
Sabrina estimates the billboards are costing her nearly $1,200 a month. But what does that matter, she says,
You need a calendar?
if it saves her mother's life.
All right, hon. Thank you. That price tag doesn't matter one bit if I could find a match for my mom.
Chris Conte, News Channel 5 HD.